Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my online class, another recording of teaching for subject Science Year 5, Sains KSSR Year 5. It was a revised syllabus. Okay, the revised syllabus for 2021. Okay, thank you so much for your participation in my online class and still viewing my recording for the topic. And I would like to also, on behalf of myself and my fellow uh, fellow colleagues of like Cikgu Fauzia, Cikgu Marta, Cikgu Dayan Fatimah, we would like to thank everybody for still joining the lesson during this PDPR, and please send our regards to your parents too, because they allow and help you to join our lesson in this YouTube videos for I think this is almost the 10th session of lesson for this subject. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope you are all doing fine anywhere and any time during this season. Okay, today we want to continue our lesson about the animals, which is about the food chain and the food web. If you still remember, the animals have three eating behaviors. They are the carnivores, herbivores, and the omnivores. So the carnivorous animals eat only animals, but the herbivorous animals, they eat the plants. Meanwhile, the omnivorous animal, they eat the other animals as well as the plants. Okay, so these categories is related to this topic right now. Okay, now let's go. Living things in a habitat is interdependent for food source. Okay, so dia kata semua haiwan-haiwan ataupun hidupan yang ada di dalam satu habitat tu, mereka ni semua saling bergantung. Mereka bergantung to each other. Interdependent tu maksudnya saling bergantung to each other for food sources. Untuk mendapatkan bekalan makanan. So let's look here at a picture here. Okay, I would like to zoom out. Okay, now you see this here, the eagle, the bird, the squirrel, the snake, and monkey, stork, otter, crab, fish, and the crayfish. They are living together in a, if you can see here in the picture, we can assume that this is from a mangrove area, mangrove forest. Hutan paya bakau. They are living together in this habitat. So tengok ni ada macam-macam jenis haiwan. Okay. So betul lah, based on the situation at the mangrove swamp paya bakau, mangrove swamp paya bakau, what is the food for each identified animal? Apakah makanan-makanan yang diperolehi oleh haiwan-haiwan dan hidupan yang ada di sini? Okay, so Melia said, I observed a squirrel eating a fruit. So the source of food for the squirrel is fruit. And an otter eating fish. Otter eating a fish. So sumber makanan, the source of food for the otter is fish. Okay, now you look at the dialogue in the page. Okay, you now see what are the foods for other animals such as crabs, monkeys, snakes, and birds. Okay, I think it is better if I enlarge the view. Okay, now. Okay, this is better, I think. Okay, now. What are the foods for other animals? Okay, so this guy, this friend of theirs, tell them the crabs eat small animals, while birds and monkeys eat fruit. So they got different sources of food. And meanwhile, you can see also that the snakes eat monkeys, birds, and squirrels. So they have a lot of sources of food. A lot of type of sources of food. So kita tengok dekat sini, Dia yang paling macam-macam makanan mereka. But some of them are consuming, ada yang makan plants only. Some other are consuming animals only. And some of them are consuming both plants, which is the fruits, and the other animals too. Okay, now, wow, it seems like all the animals are interdependent. All the animals are interdependent. They are depending on each other. So some animals eat plant and some eat other animals. This means that the interdependence among these animals is in the form of food relationship. So, which is connected in a chain. Dia dihubungkan dalam satu rantaian. Okay, so what is the meaning of food chain? A food chain is the food relationship among living things. You can see there in the blue box there already defined as for you, defined for us. We just have to memorize the meaning. Understand? Ini saja. A food chain is the food relationship among living things. Senang saja. So, dia pun tunjukkan dekat sini perkaitan dia. How do they relate to each other? So, the fruits eaten by the squirrel. Okay, I hope the view is clear. Okay. Then, squirrel eaten by snake, eaten by eagle. Okay. And then we just have to replace the word eaten by with an arrow, meaning eaten by. Arrow means eaten by. Okay. And then we summarize or we simplify the food chain in word form. Kita tuliskan dia sahaja. Tak perlu lukiskan lagi. Understand? Okay, so we use the word here, fruits, the arrow, eaten by squirrel, eaten by snake, eaten by eagle. And that is how it is for us to construct the food chain. Senang saja, tuliskan saja, use the correct arrow and make sure the direction of the arrow also correct, and you just put it in a one line. Tuliskan dia saja, ia akan menjadi food chain, a complete food chain. Arrow itu dia kata means eaten by. Jadi cara kita baca pun macam tadilah, fruits eaten by squirrel, eaten by snake, eaten by eagle. Okay. Now let's go down to identify the producers and the consumers. Okay, who is the producer in a food chain? Okay, let us analyze let us read the story by this group of class. Okay, you still remember about photosynthesis? Okay, what is photosynthesis? The photosynthesis is carried out by plants to make their own food by using the sunlight. They can make their own food. Animals and humans cannot make their own food. Understand? So that is so. The plant is called the producers. Pengeluar. Hanya tumbuhan sahaja. Only plant can be called and classified as producers. Animals and human, we cannot be producers. Okay, so why? Because they have this process, photosynthesis. Okay, now let's look. Now, okay, dia tanya dengan cikgu dia, why can other living things be producers? No, because only plants can carry out photosynthesis. Hanya tumbuhan sahaja yang boleh menjalankan photosynthesis. Why? Okay. That is because plant have what we call as the chlorophyll. Do you remember the word chlorophyll? Okay. What is the chlorophyll? It is a green pigment consists in the plant's leaf. Dia dalam daun-daun tumbuhan tu, dia warna hijau, dia ada pigment, nama dia pigment yang berwarna hijau. Dia pigment are called chlorophyll. The pigment, the chlorophyll pigment can absorb sunlight. That is why they can carry out the photosynthesis process. Then they are the ones who can make their own food. Meanwhile, human and animals, we don't have such pigment in our body. Plants get their own plants get their energy from the sunlight, and the sunlight becomes the source of energy for plants. I would like to go on highlighter. Okay, source of energy for plant. Okay, so they can carry out the process of photosynthesis. Okay, now, we go down. So can we identify who are the consumer? Just now we already identify who is the producer, but the consumer are the ones who eat another animals or living things. So the first consumer should be the squirrel, because the squirrel feeds on fruits. Dia makan buah-buahan. Understand? Okay. And otter also is a consumer because it feeds on the fish. Dia orang makan apa? Dia orang makan ikan. So ada yang makan tumbuhan, ada yang makan haiwan yang lain. They are called as consumer. Simply said, consumers are those who eat other living things. Meanwhile, the producers are the one who can make their own food. Boleh. Itu beza dia. Senang saja beza dia. Okay, the squirrel and otter obtain energy from the food that they feed on. Living things can also be related in terms of energy transfer. Okay, sekarang kita nak masuk kepada perpindahan tenaga, transfer of energy. Okay, sebab apa dia kata ada transfer of energy? Okay, first the squirrel eat the fruits, isn't it? So the squirrel get their energy by eating. Saya nak ni jugalah. Obtain. Dia pakai obtain. Obtain to get lah. Obtain the energy by eating fruits. Macam mana pula dengan ular? How about the snake? The snake obtain their energy by eating squirrel. And lastly, the eagles obtain energy by eating snake. Jadi, perkaitan di dalam rantai makanan tadi, the food chain, orang ini makan siapa? Dia dapat tenaga. And siapa lagi makan dia? Dia pun dapat tenaga. Senang saja kan? Okay, again, it is emphasized here. The arrow also shows the flow of energy transfer in a food chain. Okay, now we are going to see another situation where we are given a situation in kebun sayur. Okay, so kita pergi dekat kebun sayur ni, the vegetable farm. The relationship in a food chain also causes energy to be transferred. Jadi ada tenaga yang dipindahkan kepada organisma ataupun hidupan yang lain. So we see here there are the vegetable like the cabbage, the cauliflower, and lepas tu apa lagi, the brinjal, the eggplant, or maybe the brinjal, and then the tomatoes, and then we also have leaf. Meanwhile, the animals are duck, goat, chicken, snake, and caterpillar. Okay. Based on the identified consumers and producers, energy transfer in several food chains can be made as seperti berikut ni. But before we go down, we can see that in this farm, there are a lot of types of vegetable, isn't it? Ada banyak sayur-sayur, macam-macam jenis. But we take it one general name of the vegetable. Kalau kita nak namakan satu-satu, dia nanti jadi panjang. Takkan nak namakan cauliflower satu, sawi satu, macam-macam. Jadi dekat sini kita namakan semua tumbuhan di dalam habitat ini sebagai vegetable. The vegetable are the producer because they make their own food, and the other animals automatically called as the consumer. So the first food chain here is vegetable eaten by duck, eaten by snake. Senang kan? Sayur dimakan oleh itik, dimakan oleh ular. We go on then. The vegetable eaten by goat, eaten by snake. Next, number 3, vegetable eaten by chicken, eaten by snake. Next, we go down. Okay, ada lagi. The vegetable eaten by caterpillar, eaten by duck, eaten by snake. And lastly, another food chain is vegetable eaten by caterpillar, eaten by chicken, and eaten by snake. Okey, ada berapa food chain? 5, betul? Okay, cikgu kecilkan sekejap. Okay, number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can construct 5 food chains. Understand? In this habitat. Dalam satu habitat tu, kita berjaya membina 5 rantai makanan, food chain. But, okay, nanti dulu yang tu. Okay, kita akan tengok macam mana energi daripada semua ni dipindahkan, transfer. Okay, first, the sunlight provides light and heat energy. Okay, the sun provides light and heat energy. So it is the main energy in ecosystem. Apa itu ecosystem? A system where the living things inside depend on each other. Itu maksud dia. Okay, now, bila dia sudah membekalkan cahaya dan juga haba, so the plant, such as the paddy plant, it will absorbs the energy and carry out the photosynthesis. Understand? Okay, senang je kan? Okay, oleh sebab muka surat ini is continuous to another page, okay, kita terpaksa turun sekejap. Okay, now, the paddy will be eaten by the duck and the chicken. So, the duck and chicken are the consumers, okay, who gets their energy from the paddy plant. Oleh sebab dia makan padi tadi, dia dapat tenaga. Tenaga tu sudah dipindahkan kepada ayam dan itik. Kemudian, oleh sebab ular tadi makan itik dan ayam, snake eats the duck and the chicken. Okay, the energy now is transferred to the snake. Nampak ni? And lastly, the eagle eats the snake. Sorry, highlight here. It's the snake, duck, and chicken. So the energy is transferred finally to the eagle. Okay, faham? So dia adalah proses berpindah-pindah tenaga. Siapa yang makan siapa, dia yang akan mendapat tenaga. Itu saja, as simple as that. And now, okay, dia kata dekat sini, apa itu ecosystem? What is the definition or the meaning of an ecosystem? Ecosystem is actually ecological system of natural living things that live together and depend on one another in a habitat. So, ia adalah tentang hidupan-hidupan yang berada di dalam satu habitat. Mereka saling bergantung satu sama lain, termasuklah kepada water, air, soil, tanah, air, udara and the sun sebagai sumber tenaga mereka. Okay, itulah maksudnya ekosistem. Okay, now, macam family tetapi dia satu habitat. Okay, now we going down and we are going to learn about the food web now. Okay, tadi dekat kebun sayur tu, do you remember? We have already construct 5 food chains. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so ada 5 yang kita jumpa ni, kita boleh gabungkan dia. We are going to combine them as a food web. Food chain ada satu. Food chain tu satu. Bila kita gabung dia, anak panah dia semua kita gabung, nama dia semua kita gabung, it becomes the food web. So the meaning of food web is actually easy. Combination of food chains. Combination of food chain. Senang je nak ingat. Sedangkan food chain, the food relationship among living things. Kan? Okay. Okay, sekarang kita nak pergi tengok. Tadi kita ulang sikit sekejap saja. Vegetable eaten by duck, eaten by snake. B, vegetable eaten by goat, eaten by snake again. C, vegetable eaten by chicken, eaten by snake again. Vegetable eaten by caterpillar, eaten by duck, eaten by snake. And one more also, vegetable eaten by caterpillar, eaten by chicken, and lastly also eaten by snake. Apa persamaan mereka? Betul, tadi cikgu sengaja ulang-ulang snake tu. Memang mereka berakhir pada snake. Betul satu. Which is the final consumer. Final consumer maksudnya apa? Pengguna yang terakhir. Siapa yang duduk terakhir? Snake tadi kan? Okay, itu betul satu persamaan. Kemudian semua arrow dia, if you look closely, semuanya pergi ke depan. Tidak ada yang pergi ke belakang. Remember that. Please remember that. The arrow direction must be correct. Kalau kamu ubah dia, arrow ni pergi ke belakang. Duck dimakan vegetable. Is it logical? Tak betul lah kan? Tak sesuai. Snake jadi eaten by duck. Not correct. So arrow itu kena ke depan supaya dia membawa maksud duck eaten by snake. Vegetable eaten by duck. Baru betul. Okay, now these 5 food chain have one similarity. Ada satu persamaan, which is they start with similar producer. Understand? Siapa producer dia? Vegetable, sayur. 5 bermula dengan sayur. Jadi barulah kita boleh combine dia. Dia kena ada persamaan itu, which is similar producer. Okay, sebab dia kan satu tempat yang sama, mestilah dia bermula dengan producer yang sama. Kalau misalnya dia berubah untuk dia pergi dekat forest, or dia pergi jungle, a field, or in a pond, or under the sea, jadi dia akan berbeza. Dia tak pakailah vegetable. Jadi kita kena cari yang persamaan, which is the producer. Kemudian bila kita gabungkan dia jadi seperti berikut, as following. Tengok ni, in the following food web, kamu tengok apa yang duduk dekat depan sekali? The vegetable eaten by who, and di belakang ini. Okay. Okay, you can see here A, which one is A? Vegetable eaten by duck, eaten by snake. Ni vegetable turun bawah, jumpa duck. So naik semula ke atas, jumpa the snake. Okay, can you look at it? The food web diagram. This is how we are going to construct it, but not yet. Okay, kita tengok dulu. Okay, another example. Okay, cikgu kecilkan semula. Okay, in this habitat, where is it? Okay, this is a pond habitat, dekat tepi kolam. Okay, so dekat tepi kolam ni, a pond habitat. Let us name the living things that we can see or we can find in this habitat. Mula dengan storks, small fish, big fish, frog, grasshopper, tadpoles, waterweed, and snail. Okay, from all the given living thing or organism, which one is the producer? Ni kita dah senaraikan, kita dah nampak dalam gambar ni kan. We have already found the list or the name of the living things. So which one is the producer? Pengeluar. Siapa? Do you remember? Kalau kita nak tentukan siapa yang menjadi producer, siapa? Mudah je kan? Nak tumbuhan ke nak haiwan? Mestilah tumbuhan. So daripada list-list semua yang ditunjukkan ni, Siapa yang menjadi tumbuhan? Water, water weed. Inilah pengeluar producer for the pond habitat. So semua food chains yang kita nak akan buat nanti, food chain akan bermula dengan water weed. Ada tu water weed dekat bawah snail tu. You get it? Okay, now, so for that, we can, how many food chains can we construct? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 food chains we construct based on this habitat. Understand? Daripada gambar ini, kita sudah berjaya menghasilkan 8 food chains. So daripada food chains ini, kita pun kita nak tukar dia jadi food web. Macam mana? Gabungkan dia jadi ini. Ni. Ni gambar ni pun food chain juga, tetapi kalau misalnya soalan minta kamu untuk tulis untuk menghasilkan food web, kamu tak perlu lukis. We only have to do it in written form sahaja. Sama juga yang ada, contohnya gambar water weed ni kan, tulisan water weed ni kan, tak perlu buat dia punya bulatan tu, tak perlu tulis, tak perlu lukiskan dia. Sama juga nama-nama lain, snail ke, nama tadpole. Do you understand? Kan dia ada bubble dia tu kan, snail. Tadpole ada bentuk bulat tu. That's not necessary. Understand? We only have to write down the name of the living things and the arrow. Understand? Itu sahaja. Dan pastikan arrow dia ke depan. Kalau ke belakang, salah maksud. You remember, ada berapa banyak arrow nak kena construct here? Banyak ni kan? More than 10, isn't it? Ada lebih daripada 10. Tiba-tiba salah satu saja, terbalik. Kosong, markah kamu. Macam itu. Understand? It is easy, but easy for you to fail too. Senang je nak buat ni, senang je, gabung-gabung je dah dapat dah. Later on, I will have a handout of exercise for all of you to do it. In written form, of course. Nanti kita akan uji siapa yang ingat apa yang cikgu ajar. Bukan senang-senang suruh nak dengar sahaja. Tajuk ini nampak macam senang saja. Bila beritahu dengan murid, murid pun mengantuklah nak belajar ni. Bila suruh buat latihan, salah pula. Okay, now let's go on. Kita pergi juga dekat bawah ini. Dia kata, if given situation like in the following picture, cikgu besarkan sekali lagi. So in situation 1, this is a food web, tapi in diagrammatic lah yang ada gambar. So tak apalah, ini adalah contoh sahaja. So tak kisahlah juga dia habitat dekat mana. Water weed eaten by grasshopper, eaten by stork. Water weed eaten by tadpoles, eaten by stork. And water weed again eaten by fish and eaten by stork. This girl asks you, what will happen if all the fish die from poisoning? Mati diracun. Semua ikan mati kena racun. What happened? What will happen to other living things in this situation? What happened to the stork? The stork, dia makan tak fish? The fish eaten by the stork, isn't it? You can see here in the arrow. So, if the fish die, the stork also die. Inilah satu perkara yang saya nak bagi tips dengan kamu ni. Simple tips for you. Please, for any answers in any question or examination or any exercises given to you, if they ask you to predict or ask for your observation, tolonglah avoid jawapan mati, die. Seronok betul jawapan favourite. Macam cikgu selalu cakap dengan kamu saja hari ni kantin tutup. Lepas tu murid sekolah saya, murid SK agama, mati. Macam tu ke? Hari ni kamu pergi kantin, lepas tu kantin kata, habis dah air, tak boleh dah beli air. Lepas tu murid SK agama jadi apa? Mati. Kan tak sesuai, tak bagus jawapan tu. Bukanlah tak bagus, tak tepat sebenarnya. So for science exams, or any question related in science, please avoid such answer. You have more than the word die. Actually, we wanted to know the population change in the question in the or answer actually. Bila kita nak tahu apa perubahan dia, so kita gunakan whether increase bertambah or decrease berkurang. Increase or decrease. Or we can say no change if necessary. Kalau misalnya tidak ada perubahan, kita boleh nyatakan tidak ada perubahan. So, nak guna increase or decrease or no change. Okay, so now, stock. What happened to the stock if the fish die? Kalau ikan-ikan mati, keracunan semua, adakah stok pun akan bertambah atau berkurang? So, yes, the stock will decrease. The number of stock will decrease or the population of stock decrease. Sebab apa? Sebab sumber makanan dia berkurang. Okay, what about the tadpoles and the grasshopper? Do they decrease as well, or do they increase when the fishes die? Okay. In this situation given, jawapan dia grasshopper has no change. The tadpoles increase or decrease? No change. Grasshopper and tadpoles has no change. Kerana, okay, kita tengok dia punya arrow dekat sini. Tadpoles and grasshopper eat the water weed. Understand? They are not affected by the fish. Sekarang ni kita tengok arrow ni, ikan ni tak makan tadpole. Ikan pun tak makan grasshopper. So, kalau ikan tu mati ataupun ikan tu bertambah ke berkurang, it will not affect the tadpoles and grasshopper. Okay, got it? But stock is affected because in this situation, the stock eats the fish. The fish eaten by stock. Okay, memang kalau kita tengok dalam situasi yang betul-betul reality situation, memang tadpoles ada yang menjadi makanan kepada fish. Grasshopper also eaten by the fish. Betul, itu reality. Understand? But in this situation given to you, anak panah ni tak ada menunjukkan bahawa they are eaten by the fish. Jadi jawapan kita for the grasshopper and the tadpoles has no change in their population. Okay, have no change in their population. Okay, now let's go on to the next situation. Okay, goat. Okay, sorry. Kita tengok dekat sini, vegetable eaten by chicken and then eaten by snake, lepas tu eaten by duck, eaten by snake again. Vegetable eaten by goat, eaten by snake, and kalau nak pergi satu-satu, okay, tak apa, kita pergi terus kepada dia punya soalan. Okay, predict the effects on other living things if all vegetable in the farms were destroyed due to a flood. Tiba-tiba banjir melanda, jadi semua sayur-sayur ini dimusnahkan. Okay, jadi apa yang berlaku kepada hidupan lain? What happened to the chicken? Decrease. Kenapa? Sebab chicken eats the vegetable. Can you understand? Kita tengok arrow ni. Kita tengok dia punya arrow yang menunjukkan perkaitan itu. The relationship between the animals and all the living thing. What about the goat? Goat will decrease because the goat eat the vegetable. Duck decrease. Betul? The grasshopper also decrease. But what about the snake? The snake, what happened to the population of the snake when all the vegetables are destroyed? Bukan when all the animals die. When all the animals die, lain. Dia tak tanya itu. The real question is when all the vegetables are destroyed. So the snake does not have change or no change in their population. Sebab dalam anak ataupun diagram ini, di dalam food web ini, the snake does not consume the vegetable. Kita tak boleh jawab macam logik tak logik saja. We have to analyze our answer based on the given situation. Understand? Okay, let's go on. Another topic which is almost ending of this lesson. Okay, kamu tengok dekat sini, effect of population change. Yang kita bincangkan sekejap saja tadi. So in a habitat, the energy transfer occurs continuously, sentiasa berlaku. Tenaga tu sentiasa berpindah. Ada orang makan, maka tenaga itu akan sentiasa berpindah. Any changes in the population of living things will affect the whole ecosystem. Bila ada salah satu perubahan, maka semuanya akan mendapat kesan. Okay, so dia tanya dengan cikgu dia, how does a population change occur in a food chain? Macam mana boleh berlakunya perubahan populasi ini? Okay, populasi itu, in a simple word, we can say that is amount or quantity. Population tu ialah population, jumlah. So when I say a population of human, so jumlah manusia. When I say a population of pupils, jumlah murid, populasi murid, jumlah murid. Dalam bahasa yang senang untuk kita fahamlah. Okay, so there are many reasons for the changes in the population of living things, such as here, you can see here, ada forest fire, ada unplanned forest exploration, penerokaan hutan. If you look closely to the ground, pokok-pokok tu sudah tinggal dia punya akar, apa tu, orang kata apa, the very base of the plant part, cuma tinggal yang bawah saja pokok tu sana kerana ditebang, cut down by human. Ada juga dicakap dekat sini tremendous weather change. Apa tu tremendous weather change? Perubahan cuaca yang sangat teruk ataupun spread of pandemic. Macam sekarang pun boleh berlaku juga. Contohnya bila terlalu ramai orang yang terkena penyakit, jadi jumlah manusia semakin berkurang. Betul ke tidak? Ramai sangat yang terkena penyakit pandemik sekarang. Jadi mengganggu ekosistem juga. Some more also affecting the population is the illegal hunting activity. So, apa ni? Pemburuan haram. Okay, dia beritahu dengan kita apakah maksud population. Population is actually the group of living things or species found in a habitat. Itu maksud yang lebih detail lah. Tapi untuk senang untuk kita faham, population itu sebenarnya can be also understood as the amount or the quantity. Okay. So, di sini pun dia tunjukkan lagi, what are the effects of living things if there is a population change in the food web of a habitat? Apa yang akan berlaku kalau ada perubahan populasi ini? Okay, dia kata animal will lose their natural habitat. Apa maksudnya? Habitat semula jadi mereka tu dia akan hilang. Of course lah, the hutan-hutan, the forest, the jungles are the natural habitats for the animals. So if we are taking careless action on the natural habitats, jadi kita akan memusnahkan mereka. Jadi kesianlah, tengok ni, kangaroo ni keluar pergi jalan. Elephant, mana lagi kawan-kawan dia? Kenapa tinggal 3 ekor saja? Kerana semuanya adalah berpunca daripada tindakan-tindakan yang tidak bertanggungjawab, irresponsible actions. So, kamu tengok dekat sini, tiger tinggal seekor saja. Mana lagi anak-anak dia? That is not good. Okay, so dia kata it is estimated that 480 million animals died in a bushfire in Australia pada Ogos 2019. Pada tahun 2019, kalau kamu masih sempat Google, saya rasa, ataupun kamu sendiri pernah tengok, macam-macam berita di TV pun masa itu, which is the most heartbreaking for us to see is how a lot of koalas died. Lepas tu ada yang koala keluar pergi tepi-tepi jalan, pergi ke macam mana cakap, the koalas escape from the forest and the jungles to get source of water. Lepas tu badan dia orang pun ada kesan-kesan hangus lagi. Koalas tu jalan dia slow ke cepat? Dia orang tu jalan lambat, tapi dia orang sanggup meninggalkan rumah, dia orang punya habitat which is the jungles, to find the source of water, to find source of and especially to seek for protection, sebab hutan sudah terbakar. Kamu check sendiri, the Great Fire happened in Australia 2019. Okay, that is all for our lesson about animals. And for today, which is specifically about the food chain and the food webs. They are closely related to us actually. Bukannya kita belajar tu, diorang makan diorang, kita pun tak nak hairan lah. Actually, they are related to humans too. Okay, so for the next activity, which is about the fun science, tengok ni. Nak buat terrarium. So again, for my lesson today, in this session, I would like to advise my students to collect as much as possible recyclable materials. Kamu tengok kat sini dia kumpulkan bekas yang sudah lama. Not necessarily you have those glass containers. Kadang-kadang tu bekas makanan kamu tu yang sudah siap makan tu, you can keep it, clean them well and keep it because they are advantageous for your projects later. Nanti bila nak pakai, dah ada dah bekas-bekas macam tu yang cantik, yang menarik tu semua. Even there, I would like to take this opportunity. I seen a lot of my students love the bubble tea lah, the smoothie lah, the tea leaf and all. Okay. Apa kata bila kamu siap minum, cawang dia yang cantik-cantik tu, you can collect them for your any subjects project. Kalau tak nak buat untuk sains, maybe for your art subject or maybe for mathematics subject. Nanti akan ada macam-macam aktiviti hands-on. So, kamu amalkan the 3R. Practice the 3R, reuse, recycle and reduce too, which is not only beneficial for you, but also in the meantime, you are helping the environment to be clean and safe, isn't it? So that's all for today, and that's all for now. Thank you once more for your participation in my class. Please keep going and join for another class too. Again, send my regards to your parents and your family for helping you out with this PDPR lesson. I hope you have acquire beneficial knowledge, especially from my class in science. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.